All right, welcome back to another episode of the Rock Solid Sports Podcast. Today is Sunday, December 22nd, and holy shit, did we have a snooze fest yesterday.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible, honestly, to watch that piss poor performance out of a lot of teams, that, especially with how much hype was going into it. We'll get into it in just a second, but that amount of hype to get that result that we got is terrible.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the other side. A couple more things to talk about. Heisman, see you. Yeah, some stuff to get into, so let's do it.
Let's do it.
We gonna make it, baby.
Rock solid. Rock solid. Rock solid. Rock solid. Rock solid sports.
Welcome back to this week's episode. We are brought to you by SLUV, as always. We have a little bit of their stuff. I don't even know if the cameras can see it right now. I think this one can. We're brought to you by SLUV. Go check them out on Instagram or on their website at sluv.us or on Instagram at sluv.co. They spread love. You should spread love back and buy some merch. All right, let's talk about it. First game, Indiana, Notre Dame, Friday night. Stinker. We had Trey on the podcast 2 weeks ago, and he said that Indiana had a chance to beat Georgia. They couldn't even get past Notre Dame. Not even close.
Yeah, no, from what I got from that game, at least watching the little bit that I did, it didn't seem like Notre Dame did all that much. It just seemed that Indiana did absolutely nothing. You knew it was going to be a shit show from the first 4 minutes. There was 2 interceptions, one thrown by each team. You knew it was going to be a messy game. And then it ended up just being a really messy game for Indiana, who I just don't think is ready for that quite yet. And I think Notre Dame is a pretty solid team. So obviously we'll see moving forward. But this was just kind of one of those things that makes a lot of those teams mad that they lost to some piss poor schools because they could have put up a better performance than this. But it's kind of on them.
Great job by Signetti this year, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he deserves credit for how good that Indiana team was. They couldn't beat the powerhouses of Ohio State. And I hate to call Notre Dame a powerhouse, but they're doing well right now. So any thoughts on that game?
I hope the committee takes from this that they need to have strength of schedule be more important in how they rank teams. I mean, shout out Indiana, had a great season. You beat 11 teams, 11 wins, that's great. In reality, though, you didn't beat anybody.
Yeah.
That was the argument coming in, and now we see the fruits of that labor. So strength of schedule, I think, needs to hold more weight in how they rank the teams.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I also think, you got Ole Miss and Alabama fans are really, really upset about this weekend. But at the same time, it's not that you lost. It's who you lost to. Georgia had 2 losses, and they ended up getting a bye by winning the SEC championship. They would have been in anyway.
All right.
But you can get in with 2 losses. It's just who are those losses to? Alabama, I'm sorry, are you better than Indiana and SMU and Arizona State and Boise State? Yes, 100%. I agree with that. But at the same time, you also lost to Vanderbilt, got blown out by Oklahoma. And then Ole Miss lost to Kentucky, and they were in it. They were in a spot to where they didn't even have to play in the SEC championship game. They had their spot no matter what. And then they lose to Florida, and that's the problem is that you had your spot. You're complaining about not making it. Bro, you made it, and you messed it up by losing to a team who you just can't lose to.
Lane Kiffin he was wild enough takes on Twitter last night.
Shout out to, what's his name? Joe Klatt for shooting back on him. He said, if your team played half as good as you tweet, maybe you'd be in the playoffs right now.
Damn right.
But yeah, no, I agree. It's just, do I agree those teams are better and the strength of schedule should matter? And I 100% agree. But that late in the season, you can't lose to that poor teams if you're kind of a fringe playoff team and expect to be put in over teams that have only lost 1 game, no matter how weak those wins were. I think that has to count for something. But yeah, I think moving forward, I think they're going to kind of change how they put people in for sure. I think they're going to make a change to where, if you win your conference championship, you don't get a bye automatically. It should just be ranked 1 through 12, and whatever that list is where you're at. Because there's no reason that Arizona State or Boise State should have. That chair is crazy.
Bro, I turned around and I was like, what was that noise? I can't hear it with these headphones. Earlier I could hear it. Now I can't hear it at all. I thought someone was talking behind me.
Dude's ripping ass in the corner. It sounds like that's what they're going to think.
But yeah, to wrap it up, I think Boise State and Arizona State, I think if you win your conference championship game, you should be automatically in, but you shouldn't get that bye. And I think that can maybe shape some things up to where, maybe there is some teams that get in there that maybe shouldn't be in there, but instead of playing Ohio State or Penn State or Notre Dame, they're playing, Boise State or Arizona State or a team like that who they can actually have a solid game with that people can enjoy.
Penn State, SMU. Penn State wins 38-10. SMU, also a great year. We kind of talked about it earlier, but they were just so good because of the NIL money. They were just able to buy. They're just so rich over there. But Penn State, kind of my prediction was that they were going to beat the shit out of SMU. It did happen. Any thoughts on that game? I didn't watch it at all.
So what I personally took away from it is, you said it last night when we were talking about the Texas game, the Notre Dame game, like the scoreboard tells half the story. I don't think people who maybe didn't watch that game as much or didn't really pay attention to it and only saw the final score don't realize how close that was to being a really good game. Because in the first half, Jennings, the quarterback for SMU, had 3 interceptions, 2 of which were returned for pick sixes. And, I mean, you got to think about it. If those don't happen, they probably get points on at least one of those. This game probably ends up being like 13-24, like a lot closer of a game than it ended up being. I think SMU is one of those teams that now it's in like a big conference. It has the money. I think this is a team that's going to be around for a while, and I think they're going to start getting like really good talent to kind of get around that. And I think in the coming years they're going to be really solid, but they're still just that CUSA team who's just kind of now getting into it. And I think in the future they'll be fine, but right now they can't beat a team like Penn State.
Any thoughts?
He kind of hit the nail on the head there.
Any thoughts, Caden?
No.
All right.
All I can think about it from SMU is all their money. That's what I was telling you about that TikTok.
Yeah.
That's all I
It certainly
thought about.
certainly doesn't help either that they play in Dallas, and then they went and played, and
It was like 20
it
degree
felt
weather.
like 12, I think.
Hey, they showed up in their Fendi parkas. It's okay.
They were very warm.
All right, Texas-Clemson. Texas moves on to go face Arizona State. They beat Clemson 38-24. A little what you said. Scoreboard really didn't tell the whole story. But nonetheless, a win for Texas. Quinn Ewers really worries me.
Yeah.
That was really my only take. I was asleep during half the game, but the first half, he just scares me sometimes. He's a good quarterback. It's just his decision making sometimes is not always there. And Texas has like all the talent in the world to be able to win these games like pretty dominantly. And sometimes you let them hang around in the first half, and I don't want that. Just go out there and beat them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Quinn Ewers is, shaky. I think he's really solid, but I think he can be shaky a lot of times. And it's one of those things where it's kind of normal for that to kind of scare you because Archie Manning is not quite ready yet, I don't think.
Oh, he's more than ready.
No, yeah, but like I think in terms
We're
of like,
ready.
the big moment, I don't know if he's ready for that quite yet. I think he will be next year. But I think right now it's just like you don't want to take Quinn Ewers out because it's like I don't know if Arch would do any better than what he's doing. But one thing we did see is how good Texas can be when they can run the ball. And I think that if they can get that part of their game going, it like really propels them to be a different type of team because Blue and Weisner were insane. Even with Weisner getting a little banged up, I think they were kind of comfortable just keeping him on the sideline and all that. And did you know that Cabe Klubnik and Quinn Ewers played in the high school state championship?
Klubnik won.
Yeah, no,
And
they
their safety.
Yeah.
Texas safety.
yeah, they only
played for
mentioned
Klubnik.
that. They only mentioned that 250,000 times during the broadcast, and I was like, we kind of get it.
Did you know Kershaw and Matthew Stafford went to high school together? That's my favorite one that they say like every fucking time.
But yeah, I mean, Clemson's got that Dabo Sweeney fighting them, and I think that's all that kind of kept him in this game, and I think that's what they were pushing for. They just waited too late to get going, and they started off too slow, and they couldn't be able to catch up. If they would have caught up somehow and won that game, I think it would have been the biggest comeback in college football playoff history. But they weren't able to pull it off. That 77-yard run by Weisner, was that who ran it in? Yeah, like that sealed the coffin there for him.
Yeah. Any thoughts?
I think what Sark did really well yesterday, and this has kind of been your downfall all season, but if you can fix it, I think you actually win the national championship, is scoring when you get to the red zone, what you guys did yesterday. And
Can't do it against Georgia though. We
so far
refuse
not,
to do
but
it against Georgia.
we'll see.
Any thoughts, LP?
Sorry. God, that chair is terrible. No. No thoughts from me.
Okay, we kind of had to hurry this up because we have to go feed my dog at some point. All right, Ohio State, Tennessee. Ohio State puts the absolute whopping on Tennessee.
We were all wrong about that.
Yes, we were all wrong about that game.
No one picked Ohio State.
Christian will give you credit. Okay, whatever. This is the only time you'll ever get it. Congrats on your win. Now you got to go beat Oregon. So good luck.
Yeah, I think what happened in that game is what I think every team in the playoffs was worried about, and that was Ohio State getting their swagger back a little bit. Because I remember I've told a couple people this. I think a couple weeks ago before the Michigan game happened, that I personally considered Ohio State the one and only juggernaut team in all of college football. I know Oregon's up there, but I think Ohio State, for some reason, just shows more talent to me than Oregon does in a certain kind of way, and they seem like they're more able to kind of like beat down opponents. I think Oregon's really good too, but I think, honestly, like a hot Ohio State team with as much talent as they have on that team and talent on defense and offense, it's going to be really hard for anyone to beat them. We're going to get into it here in a second with the predictions for these upcoming games, but I think Ohio State has a serious chance to go like the entire way to maybe possibly win it all.
Any thoughts?
I hate Ohio State, but they are good. But we'll get to the predictions.
Okay. Any thoughts, Caden?
No, sorry, Ohio State. I have to do disrespect on your name.
Yeah, we did disrespect them.
Clean old-fashioned ass kicking that happened there.
All right.
I feel like it was kind of targeted, honestly.
I
might have heard it.
Predictions first, and then we'll talk Heisman at the end, and we'll wrap it up. Arizona State, Texas. Predictions going forward. Oh, are you going to say something I don't like?
Maybe.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. I think it's all going to come down to Scadaboo and how you guys contain him. I think Texas wins this game. I think you guys have more skill and more talent, better players. I think you're just more talented overall. I think you win that game. If you don't control Scadaboo, I think it's a really close game that's really scary. But if you do, I think you beat them by like 40. Like, I think that's the main key for me. But I do have Texas going ahead here.
I think Texas will win, but I do want to say this. I think Arizona State and Boise State has one thing that SMU and Indiana did not have. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with Genty. Scadaboo should have been one of the Heisman finalists, in my opinion, over one of those quarterbacks. So having those two players, I think you guys will be fine considering your defense is as good as they are.
Huge, too.
But I don't think it's something you should look over, and I think that someone like Scadaboo and then Ashton are both perfectly capable of putting those teams you're playing in a position to where you're playing down, and the pressure is then on you to win that game.
LP.
Yeah, I mean, I think Texas wins this game. I do see a world, I guess we're not, but it's very unlikely.
Give me the damn horns. You know where we're going. Hook them. We're running through everybody. Scadaboo, scata-ass, okay, whatever they say. Ohio State, Oregon, Big Ten rematch. First matchup was pretty exciting. 1 point game, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
This one could be interesting. These predictions predict right.
Yeah, no. So I'm gonna ride with what I've said since they played their first game together. I've told anybody who would hear
Ohio
it.
State's gonna win the next one.
I had a feeling in that first game that Oregon would take it. I don't think Oregon has played anybody throughout the season that's worth really, like, they played 2 hard games. One was in the conference championship game. I think when they play against good teams, they let a lot of points up. And if there's one team in this playoff who can put up a lot of points on a, not that great defense at times, I think it is Ohio State. And I think that Oregon's offense is going to have to put up close to 38 points to win this game. Personally, I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. There's not going to be much defense going on. I've had this opinion, and I think if Tennessee would have won that game last night, it would be different. But I think because Ohio State has their swagger back, they're playing at the way that we've known them to be able to play at. I think their offense is not going to be able to be held. I think they could score close to 50 points, and I think they beat Oregon and move on to state lines.
If there's one thing I've learned from the rematches so far this year, it's that the first team wins. Ryan Day loses his job January 2nd. Give me the Ducks.
There we go.
Fair.
All right.
Good.
I think Jackson nailed it. We're talking about a shootout, but I think what Jackson didn't nail is the winner. I'm taking Oregon. I think they're going to sweep them this year.
Fair enough.
Give me the Ducks, too. It might be a little disrespectful to Ohio State,
Again.
especially how they're going to shit on them now. How good. I do think they're really talented. I do
Yeah.
think they're a national championship team. I just think Ryan Day is a terrible coach. And
I think that'll be the best game of the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
100%.
I think Dan Lanning is just a good coach in general.
Yeah, I think Ryan Day's playing for his job here. I mean, I talked to, and there's a lot of people saying that that's stupid. Like Kirk was talking during the game last night that it's stupid to think that they would fire him. I don't.
I don't think it's
I
stupid at
think
all.
it's very logical to fire a coach who can't get it done with as good. Like, this is one up there with some of the best teams he's ever had. And if he can't, like, I think if he makes it there, he keeps his job. But I think if he doesn't even make it to the national championship, I don't see a world where you can really justify keeping a guy around who never makes it to the Natty, can't win it, can't beat Michigan, even when they're piss poor like they were this year.
4 in a row.
Like that, like when you have those talented teams and you can't get certain things done, at that point I do feel like it falls on the coaching. But I think he knows he's coaching for his job, and I think his players know that too. I think there's going to be extra fight out of them. I think if they can keep this groove that they got in the Tennessee game, I can easily see them winning.
If you can't win with C.J. Stroud in that wide receiver room they had, I don't know if you're going to win with this one.
Yeah.
So, all right, next game. Scroll, please. Thank you. Boise State, Penn State. This one's going to be good too, I think. I don't know why. I have a feeling about this game. Boise State, obviously, Mountain West. There's not that great, talent that they are going to get, recruiting. Penn State, is going to have a lot more talent. But Ashton Jeanty, Heisman runner-up in that game. What's your thoughts?
So here's my thoughts on it. I think Penn State's offense, even though they put up 38 against SMU, started off really not great, and I think that their offense takes some time to get going. My prediction of the game flow itself, I think Boise State jumps on them quick. I think they put up a couple touchdowns on them without Penn State being able to answer, and then Penn State kind of catches up somewhere in the second, third quarter. And then I think the stamina of how good of a team Penn State is and the teams that they've kind of played and their experience in that's going to take over. They're going to get that little bit of edge, and I think it's going to be a lot closer of a game than some people may think it's going to be. But I do have Penn State.
Is the spread on there?
Yes, the spread is Penn State minus 10.5, and I think
my gosh, that was so many points.
I think they cover that. I think at the end of the game, I think they shut down Jeanty and they take advantage. I think they cover that spread and they win that game. Late though, I think it's tight through the whole game, and then they take that little bounce.
What made the idea of a 12-team playoff so exciting in comparison to college basketball is the Cinderella stories. I was really disappointed when the away seeds, the 4 worst seeds, all got blown out this weekend. I want to see one upset. I think Boise State does that. I think Ashton, who has a very good case to be made that he should have won Heisman, is going to come into this game pissed. He's getting 3 touchdowns. They're beating Penn State.
Boise State. Yeah. He's just going against all your picks, and it seems like you had the whole script.
I just want an upset.
Jackson had the whole script to that game.
I think it's gonna be close, but yeah. I also see a world where Jeanty goes crazy and they win the game. I'm riding. Heisman runner-up. He's pissed. 4 touchdowns.
Give me Penn State. James Franklin. He's known as he can't win the big one. Luckily, they're playing against Boise State, so I don't think this will be considered a big one. Yeah. James Franklin will win this game for Penn State. Could have been Big Ten champions if they beat. It was a close game.
I was about to say, you're also talking to 2 diehard Penn State fanboys right here.
Penn State truthers over here.
It's been.
I've said they were going to win the Big Ten 2 years in a row, and they haven't.
It's been like 3 years, I think, of me and you saying that this is Penn State's year.
It has to be.
Pull it off. It has to be. And you can only do so much for so long and not get it. So
give me the Nittany Lions.
Is Penn State the Dallas Cowboys of college football?
I don't even know who would be that.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
It's always their year. Never get it done.
Yeah. But I don't think anybody else.
We need a lot more headspace.
No, you know who it is. It's the Ohio State Buckeyes.
There you go.
They are the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I like that better.
Of college football.
I like that.
All right, last game: Notre Dame, Georgia, Catholics versus the Southerners.
Catholics versus convicts, baby.
Catholics. Never mind.
Jackson hates Catholics, by the way.
I do not.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's just a huge Notre Dame hater. Who's your pick?
Been pushing the Irish Catholic hate on me that I do not support.
Just go look at the film. That's all I'm going to say.
Go look at the footage.
Georgia,
Notre Dame. I already know what you're going to pick. Why?
I think that Notre Dame just didn't put up a very impressive performance against Indiana. I don't know if they're ready for it. I think we talked about it when we were doing the preliminary round here of experience and like who they played and how ready they are. I don't think they're ready. I think Stunna Glockton is going to go out there and he's going to have himself a game. I think the team loves him. He's been around that team for forever. I don't think there's going to be too much of a change between him and Carson Beck, to be 100% honest with you. And Gunnar Stockton can run a lot. So I think that it's going to be close. I think the spread right now is 1.5. I think Georgia will cover that. I think if there's one thing that Georgia does really well, it's stop the run. And that's really what ended up killing Indiana is they could not stop Love. So it just that kept going the whole game. They couldn't stop him. Georgia does that really well. I think they're going to make them one-dimensional. Riley Leonard's going to make some mistakes. Georgia's going to capitalize. I think they take it home.
Good.
This one actually is the one game I'm the least confident in. And I only say that because Georgia so far this season has shown me that they are perfectly capable of being very inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
If they show up inconsistent, Notre Dame wins this game. But if they show up as they're perfectly capable of doing, and I think that they should, and Kirby will have them ready for, I think they'll win.
Yep.
And you nailed it on the head, actually. I think it's the run defense that makes the difference. And the fact that they don't have, new quarterback, no film.
Yeah.
And I honestly think might be better than Carson.
He might not be better, but he's not much worse.
Yeah.
Carson has been, when you think about the inconsistency of Georgia, Carson Beck has been like the spearhead of that. Our defense and what they've not been good at, they've been consistently not good at. But Carson has been the type of guy who will go, he went 6 games with a pick in every single game, sometimes 2 or 3, and then finished out the season with not throwing a single one. So I don't know, but I think I'm pretty confident that Georgia can take this home. Wouldn't be blown away if we were to find a way to lose this game because of what we've seen all year, but I think Georgia's got it.
LP.
I hate Carson Beck. I don't know why. He's done nothing to me personally, or
I don't like him either.
to anybody I root for or anything. I just don't like him.
Fair enough.
Luckily, he's not playing.
He's not.
So I'm saying you boys might have a chance. No, I can't believe the spread's at 1.5. That's kind of crazy. That's real small.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Georgia's taking this game. But
Karma's going to come around to bite some people in the ass this week, okay?
Significantly.
And that's going to be Georgia Bulldog fans. It's going to be Jackson. All year, Notre Dame shouldn't be in there. Notre Dame.
Don't get mad at me because your team couldn't beat us.
There was some vicious hate in that comment.
Notre Dame shouldn't be in the playoff. They shouldn't get this guarantee just because they're on a conference. Honestly, I think you guys are probably going to win. But if you guys had Carson Beck, I'd probably pick Notre Dame. I'm not going to lie to you. But we're going to pick Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman. This is his chance to win the big one, and it's against 2-time national champions, back-to-back 2 years ago. Obviously, different team. Kirby Smart's a great coach. It's time. It's Marcus Freeman's time.
I do think Notre Dame's rolling right now.
They're hot.
That's what I've been saying.
And karma always comes back around, and you were talking all this shit on Notre Dame all year, and it's going to come back to this game.
But
give me the damn Catholics.
Here's the thing, though. I have always been good about giving my flowers. If they come out there and they beat us, I will give them their respect 100%.
All right, we'll find out.
Beautiful.
We'll find out. All right, last thing to talk about. Colorado has a Heisman Trophy winner for the first time in I don't remember how many years they said.
Like the 90s.
Yeah. Rest in peace to that guy too.
Yeah.
Terrible story. But Travis Hunter, Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts? Should have been Travis.
I've been kind of. I think everyone kind of knew who was going to go to Travis. I think no one.
Vegas definitely knew.
Yeah, no, it was like minus like 10,000 that he was going to win that thing. But I think what a lot of people need to take away from it is that Ginty did win the Maxwell Award, which goes to the best college football player in the nation. And I think that is something that people can take away with a little bit of breath, because I think that the Heisman does come with some flash. And how you perform on the field and how people see you perform on the field. Like it's been since like Melvin Gordon that we've seen somebody do what Ginty's doing right now. I can't remember the last person who did what Travis has been doing.
Nobody.
He's not
literally nobody.
A lot of people would say probably jack of all trades, master of none sort of situation. But I think what his play showed is like how his athleticism could change a game. I don't think it changed the game as much as like Ginty's did, because they are in the playoffs because of him. And I think that argument
Mountain
is
West.
true of like, yeah. And Ginty didn't really play anybody huge. And I think if Ginty did what he did in any other conference, I think he would have won it. But it was just like you throw on the highlight tape of Ginty during the Heisman ceremony, and it's like Utah State, Nevada, like San Jose State. And it's like, okay, like I get it, but it's also one of those things where it's like you can't, if you were to do that in a different conference, I think you win that outright. And also, I think if it's any other year, he wins it. So I think it's just he was going head-to-head with a phenomenon that we haven't seen in who knows when, since maybe like Desmond Howard.
Ever.
Yeah,
no one was playing this many snaps. People might have played on two sides of the ball, but you were getting in on certain formations, certain schemes. Like you're getting in. He was in every play.
I'm pretty sure he was rated top 5 in both positions too.
Yeah.
Like his rating per game.
Well, yeah, because he won the best receiver and best DB. In the,
Yeah, I don't know how he won the
Yeah,
best
those
receiver
were-
award. But,
No, yeah. But
thoughts? You're going to see you. I've never seen you wear this. You're BYU fans. This is weird.
Oh yeah, let me establish real quick. Go Cougars! I got this as a Christmas present a few
Nice.
years ago from brothers.
I like Cougars too.
But yeah, go Cougars. Don't get me started on talking about them. I do want to say this. I do think Travis won it rightfully so, but it was so close that to me the biggest, I kind of already mentioned it, the most disappointing thing to me in terms of the Heisman this year was Cam Scadoo not being there. For whatever reason, I don't know why, obviously for the BYU game, but then other than that, I tuned into a lot of ASU games this year. Again, don't know why. I don't go out of my way to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Scadoo is a beast, though. And
Yeah.
the fact that he was not there.
He's gonna be a great fullback in
and
the
Dylan Gabriel
NFL.
and Cam Ward were both there had me sick.
Yeah, I thought Shador should have been in there as well, but
Yeah.
that's just my. I don't think they would have put two from the same
Right.
team in that race.
Mhm.
LP, thoughts on Travis Hunter?
I mean, 101.
Yeah.
It's just that's all it was. He was, like you said, he's going up against a phenomenon that no one has ever seen before, and he's, like you said, very flashy, very high ESPNable. You know what I mean? So, I think he deserved it. I think it was a what am I trying to say here? It was a correct battle. Like the fact people were so upset about it was right.
Both of them deserved it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
No,
I love
wrong
it.
choice
That was
for-
very intellectual. I like that.
thank you.
it took
It
a second.
wasn't computing up here. I'll tell you that much.
All right, any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
I mean, I'm praying that this next round of playoff games is good and fun to watch. Even the Georgia game, I hope it's a good game. And if we're gonna lose to Notre Dame, I want it to be a good game where we get beat. I don't want it to be a game where we lose, what I'm saying, where we beat ourselves. So I'm hoping that's kind of the case. I think that's what we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get a reality shock of this is the correct way of doing it. And what I said kind of this weekend too was, I think if you look at that first round more so as like a play-in game for the playoffs, it makes it look a lot better, in my personal opinion, where it's really like an 18 playoffs, and that first round is really almost can be looked at as like a play-in for these teams that never got the chance, and here's your chance to try to prove that you can play with the big dogs and go in there and do stuff.
I like that perspective.
And I think if you look at it as a play-in type of round, I think it makes the playoffs look a little bit more savory than a lot of people have looked at it.
Any last thoughts?
I like that perspective. The bar is low for a more entertaining round, so
That's for sure.
I mean, I think the thing everyone has to remember too is it's the first year.
Mhm.
The committee's gonna get better with how they do it next year. Everything's gonna get better. So
Yeah, and I think a lot of people who are kind of boo-hooing right now about well, Alabama didn't make it in, this, that, and the other. And then those same people, I'm telling you right now, are going to be pissed when 99% of that bracket is Big Ten and SEC teams. They're going to be pissed because, SMU was 13. They'd only lost one, and they didn't get in, this, that, and the other.
to BYU, by the way.
Yeah. But,
Had to throw that in
I think it's going to – those same people who are pissed right now because these teams made it in are going to be the same people that are pissed when all of the S-tier programs make it in and none of, the fun teams make it in. That's going to be a culture shock for a lot of people who – are complaining right now, but just wait until it's all SEC, Big Ten, and maybe one team from the ACC, and that's it.
Agreed. All right, well, everybody, have a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'm sure we'll record before then, but if not, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Go shop Verb Energy. Use code ROCKSOLID. Get 30% off, right? It's 30% off us. It's a pretty good deal. You should probably go do that. Go shop SLUV, sluv.co on Instagram, sluv.co, or sluv.us online. All right, well. See you guys next week, and go college, go college football. Let's have a better weekend. Go Irish. Tell somebody you love them, you might just make their day. Peace.
peace.
Verb Energy bars give you that extra boost that you need in the morning. They have an assortment of different types of bars, whether it's from caffeinated bars for the morning, as well as protein bars, whether in the morning or after your workouts. My personal favorite right now is the chocolate chip banana bread. It's awesome. Helps me get through the day, through the podcast, also through the work throughout the week. So right now, if you go onto their website, use code ROCKSOLID, you can get 30% off your next order. Verb Energy is the best way to start your day. Go check them out.
All right, welcome to our first in-person interview with two of my friends, childhood friends. So appreciate you guys coming. They are our proud sponsor at the beginning of our show every week. I don't know if you guys even knew that, but every day we start with the SLUV ad read. So Now we have them in person. Romeo and Keon. First of all, introduce yourselves, and then we'll talk after that.
Yes, sir. My name is Romeo Maestas.
You're gonna need to talk a little louder.
My name is Romeo Maestas. I was introduced to this podcast by my brother, Joey Scott. Known him forever, before even high school, but in high school, that's when, we had a chance to really get to know each other through basketball, funny enough. Sports got us connected, and then we just kind of kept in touch.
Shoes too.
Shoes kept us connected. Everything that comes in that sports lifestyle kept us connected. And then, as life went on, people get busy, but everything's full circle. And like you said, we're the sponsor of the show at the beginning, and now we're here. So that's tight.
Keon?
I'm Keon. I met Joey in high school. And then we just all kind of bonded through hoops and everything like that. And
We went to college together, and you didn't even realize it.
That was the funniest part. We were talking earlier, and I'll bump into someone that knows both of us. I'm like, yeah, I know Joey. I used to see him up at college all the time. And then I show up today, and he's like, yeah, no, I graduated. And I'm like, what? I did not even know you went there. But, yeah, now we're here.
All right, well, we'll start. I want to first start from the beginning of when you guys had this idea of spreading love, which, by the way, I got a compliment wearing this earlier when I went to Jimmy John's. He liked it. It was like the bread, like the toast.
Yeah.
Come
And
on.
as a Jimmy John's worker, kind of connects. Just tell us how this first started. What was the inspiration behind it? And then we'll talk about some drops.
Yes, sir. So it's a long story, but basically, clothing was never in my realm. Keon, he can tell his story, but he had always had that touch with clothing and fashion, that type of stuff. So as I graduated high school, I stood connected to sports with coaching because, again, I got injured in high school and all that. And, I was really trying to find myself because I think a big part of my identity was wrapped up in sports.
Gosh,
So once
that's the
that
fucking truth.
kind of left, it was like, okay, what's next? Like, what is next? So I got in my Bible. I'm a Christian-based believer, been growing up in that. And I was in my New Testament. I just kept seeing Jesus' love thy neighbor, love kept stepping out to me. And I was just like, all right. So one day, I'm praying, and I get this vision of just a T-shirt. And this first time, like, a vision came to me, and I'm like, okay, T-shirt, don't know what to do with that. We're going to store that in the closet. So then the next day I end up calling Keon, and I'm like, hey, bro, I remember in high school, like, you love fashion. I would just love to talk to you about this idea that I have. And, that turned into 2 phone calls, turns into 4 phone calls. Next thing you know, he's driving down from UNC to my house, and we're just having meetings, chopping up, okay, what could we do with this? So funny enough, the logo that I have on that Joey's wearing as well, one of our best friends, Deshaun Schwartz, his dad's a graphic designer.
Deshaun Schwartz, friend of the program. He's been on the program.
Come on. So I touched base with his dad, give him this idea, and I'm like, I want to do something with love, and, we just need more love in the world and spreading love. And he's like, all right. He gives me this logo like a week later. I give it to Keon. I'm like, bro, look at this. And, things just start moving. And it's not even forced, but things just started to move and transpire. And then one of Keon's roommates, Dante Jackson, unfortunately, he lives in Kansas, so he can't be here with us today. But he heard one of these phone calls. And
Unfortunately, he does live in Kansas.
Yeah.
You should have left it at that.
But he hears one of these phone calls, and he ends up, from my perspective, Keon can tell his side of the story, but I get a phone call from Keon, and Keon's like, hey, bro, you need to see something. And I'm like, what is it? And he said, one of my roommates has heard what we're trying to do, and he made a logo. And so he comes down to Springs, and I have these T-shirts sitting at my house, blank T-shirts.
Real quick question. Was it the one that was airbrushed?
Yes.
Is that him?
Yes.
Okay. It's all connecting in my head now.
Yep. So he comes down, and he paints, literally hand paints the SLUV logo on this T-shirt that I had at the house. And I looked at it, and instantly I'm like, yes, there's something here. So again, things just started to transpire, and we started to get the collective group together and say, okay, where do we want to take this thing? But like I said, none of us came from fashion. It's just it's a whole new outlet. So that's kind of where it started. The idea had started, and then it just grew from there. But again, just funny enough how sports will lead you to people. Again, he played football with Dante, and they were playing at UNC together. And it's funny enough how all that just works. And you're like, at this point today, and it started from sports. So it's funny that you guys have a podcast about sports, and then the clothing brand's tied in. And obviously, if you know anything about Spread Love, athletes are in it, and
we're gonna talk about
this
that.
will give you an understanding of how that all came to fruition. So,
Do you want to add to that?
Yeah.
Also, fuck it. And I don't know if you should be saying that. You shouldn't be saying that, but I can.
Yeah. No, it's all love though. But yeah, no, it all started.
it's all love.
with, yeah, UNC. Like over COVID, like everything was slowing down. Everybody was just slowing down in life in general. But we get a phone call from Rome, or I get the phone call from Rome, and he's just chopping it up. He tells me like he has this idea, and like he just said to y'all, and like for real, shout out to Dante. And it starts like before like the Handbrush logo. Like me and Dante would stay up like all night watching like little podcasts, like No Jumper type stuff, music videos, like staying up all night just doodling and drawing, and like just we were like, bro, we got to do something. Like, so shout out to Dante. Like he's really one of them ones. But yeah, other than that, just been grinding ever since then. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I love how like the story of how that all started, because I think a lot of people can resonate with like, I think a lot of athletes when they move on, a lot of the friendships that they keep and that they keep working on through life, starting sports, but also like with this brand, like what was that moment that you guys were working on it where you realized this was no longer maybe just like a fun project, but something that could be a real business that you wanted to really go for? And like, what was that moment that you knew that you were onto something special?
Yeah, as soon as I seen bro draw the logo, and like just the way we were moving about it, like how Rome said, like me and Dante, we would drive up, and his parents, they owned a carpet cleaning business, and so we would go up there, shack up. We would bring our TVs, and we're hand drawing stuff, just like trying to do everything, and like all the effort that we were putting into it. We were like, oh yeah, we know we got something just because of the energy we're putting into it, and the energy isn't there for no reason. Yeah. So that's when I knew.
I'd say for me, I went in with the mindset of nonprofit, right? So I was like, I want to be able to, with these drops, help some nonprofits and really spread love. So when we started, we were more focused on the message. Yeah. Like, all right, how are we going to spread love through this clothing brand? And like Keon said, we just stood the course, and, through that came a lot of ups and downs and learning. And our first drop, we learned a huge lesson because we ordered like 600, 700 pieces, not knowing what we're getting into. And now we're like, okay, we got to sell these pieces. And, with anything, friends and family are going to support you. It's just going to happen. And we had me, Keon, Dante, and, the community of friends around us. And, things were moving, and we're making sales, and gave us enough to make another drop. So we're like, okay, let's get this better. We make the other drop, and now people that we don't even know are ordering from us. And we're like, all right, like, this is cool. But I think what me and Keon talk about a lot, and we love this about our community, is people will step out in our clothing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm talking about going to the bar or the club or wherever they're going, and they'll put on our clothing. Mm-hmm. And to me, when I started to see that, and, we go out and we see somebody rocking our stuff, I'm like, this is legit. Like, these dudes are supporting our stuff. They're wearing it. They like it. And then it transpired to the athletes to where, we don't pay them. We don't do none of that. And they're wearing our stuff. And then we look at each other.
That moment was so cool when I saw it on when I saw them in like their tunnel walk-ins. And we'll talk about that in a second too, but yes, that was so cool.
Yeah. I think that was the surreal moment. Cause like I said, you get leveled up, and it's like, you see your friends, and then you see those random people, and then it's like the athletes. And then you're looking at each other like, okay, we got something here. Let's keep it going. So I think that was a moment for me.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but on my Instagram a couple like months ago, he wore your SLUV shirt in Dodger Stadium, and we were on the field and stuff.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was great.
He reps. So I think you guys have a little bigger of a community in Castle Rock than you think.
Come on,
that's fire.
Because I be putting people on. Don't worry. But let's talk about that. The athletes part.
Yes, sir.
What was like? I guess I won't even say coolest, because it's all pretty cool at the end of the day. Like, I've seen Dinwiddie, Christian Brown, hopefully friend of the program soon, Christian Brown. half the Nuggets team from like 2 years ago, and then you would go to like summer league. What's like the coolest moment? Kind of for me, it was just the second I saw it, Christian Brown wearing it on Instagram. I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. You had Christian Brown wearing it before he got even into the league.
Yeah. So I'll start there. Unfortunately, Tiz isn't here, but again, at the intro, Tiz is from Kansas. So we have our first ever hoodie. It looks nothing like what you've seen today. The logo was like, it wasn't perfected. It was just something that we had drew up. And he had ended up running into Christian Brown when CB was at KU. And the story that I had received was CB said, "Hey, bro, I like your hoodie." Just told Tiz that. Tiz was like, "Well, actually, this is our clothing brand." What? And like, again, Tiz would tell the story better, but they did know each other growing up a little bit. And, but CB was the one that was drawn to Tiz wearing it. And Tiz told him, "Whatever you need, we got you." And, that transpired to conversations me and Keon would have in my house where we're like, we just want to make it to the league. We didn't get to make it to the league. So if our brand can make it to the league, we're cool. And that was at the beginning, like he's saying, at my parents' shop, like when we first see the image on a T-shirt. But then what had happened was Deshaun Schwartz gets invited to NBA Summer League. And this is my best friend growing up since we were young. And I was like, man, one of us made it. Like, not even to the NBA, but to Summer League. It's NBA in front of Summer League. He made it. I got to be there. And at the time, I had probably 6 hats on me. Made the decision to go out there. Ended up running into Caleb Martin. Ended up talking to him. Handed him the hat. Funniest story. Handed him the hat, and I said, "Hey, bro, I just want to take a picture with you with the hat. That's it. Like, the hat's yours. I just want to pick." And the conversation starts off so bad because he's like, "Bro, I can't. Like, I got endorsements. I got, I can't. And I'm like, "Man, here's my one opportunity." So I go to grab the hat, and he's still holding on the hat. And he's like, "But can I still keep the hat?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, you can keep the hat." So he keeps the hat. 8-9 months goes by. We get a follow on Instagram some random day, Caleb Martin, and he's posted up at a family reunion in the hat. So I DM'd him. I'm like, "Hey, bro, anything you need, I got you from here on out." And those little things just started happening, and they were just natural encounters where people were just reaching out to us or following the page, and then, we just start blessing them. And through Deshaun Schwartz, through Hunter Maldonado, through these guys, Dante, he knows Deuce Vaughn, he knows, that's how we got the NFL route. Through these guys seeing what we have, then they just reached out and want to support because they know us, they're part of the community. Reggie Jackson, as you know, Joey, grew up with that dude.
NBA champion Reggie Jackson.
NBA champion, Denver Nuggets. Shout out to Reggie. But then, he miraculously comes to who? Denver Nuggets the year that we get linked with CB. CB gets drafted by who? Denver Nuggets. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like, God is so real. And that's what he's been showing me through this clothing brand is, again, just trust in him and he will provide. And I know that's a question a lot of you have out there. I know, and I'm about to answer it. But we've been quiet. I would say 2024 was probably our slowest year with SLUV, but I would say, we've had the most growth behind scenes that people don't see. And that's something that me and Keon take, we hold to because this is our baby. This was curated by us, made by us. So it's it's special to us. So we don't want to just, throw it out there for the masses and, just try to speed up the process. We want to make sure that this lasts. Because, again, it's more than a clothing brand. It's a movement and it's a community. And
it's a baby.
It's a baby. And we gotta make sure that we handle it with care. And that's kind of where we're at this year was let's go back to the drawing board. Let's make sure we can make this leap. Because we know the leap's there. We know the leap is ready. Like I said, dudes are wearing it without us, even asking or, endorsing or anything like that. So we know we have something. So we want to make it special, when that leap is there that we can keep up with the wave. So
I'll let you ask the question, but I wanted to mention anybody that is watching this and you ask me to get you free clothes from them, can't do it. You guys got to go shop. You guys got to go support. Only a couple people get hooked up. So I think he got a free shirt, and I think Isaac did too or something. But other than that, I usually keep most of it. So. Go ahead.
But so I love how you're open about your faith. I think that's awesome. Consider myself the same kind of way in that realm. And then also bouncing that back kind of in between sports and stuff. What life lessons have you learned from not only your religion, but also being in sports that have kind of helped you move along, not only business world, but also communicating with others and growing those bonds with people?
Yeah, God's timing. That's it, bro. with sports, again, I got into coaching right after, my high school career. And what I would tell the kids is this is a tool for life. Like there's so many lessons to be learned through basketball, football, whatever it is. But again, it's about your perspective of things. So that's what God's helped me through this clothing brand is he's with the timing aspect. Because again, anything in life, you got to put in the work, whether it's sports, whether it's business, your job, whatever it is, you got to put in the work at the beginning, and then, something will follow that. So what he showed me through this is, again, it's his timing is right. And with this, I've forced things with this clothing brand before, and it's gone the complete opposite way. And you just sit there and you're like, man, this is a lesson to learn. Again, the first time we ordered a product, like 700 items, we're gung-ho about it. And it's like, okay, maybe we should have thought about this better, about, how we're starting. So you just start to learn all these things as you walk. But I think with that, faith comes into the aspect. Because it's like we don't know everything, but in this culture, we're forced to think that we know everything, or, you try to obtain all the knowledge, but in reality, you don't. So it's like with our clothing brand, do people like larges? Do they like mediums? We don't know. But it's like, again, you start to learn.
I wear a medium.
Shout out to Joey. He wears his correct size. People always, trying to get bigger size. No, I'm just playing. But it's like you just start to unravel all these things in life, and you start to realize things happen for a reason, and you can learn from, the failures and the successes if you're really in tune with what you're doing. And that's what we talk about. Like, I'll let him speak on this because I know he holds this dearly, but you get so off track. Like, the business starts doing good. People start wearing our stuff. We're worried about the wrong things. And then me and him have to come back to, remember the goal in the beginning?
Yeah. Like, okay, yeah. So, like, playing off, like, what y'all, like, the previous question, like, we were just talking, like, in the beginning, and I would always tell him, like, ever since the beginning, it is never about the money. I don't care if we never see a dollar. I need, for me to buy somebody's jersey and wear, like, somebody's jersey, they need to wear my jersey. And to me, if that happens, we make it. Like, I'm cool. And then it started happening like that, and like it ties back into like what was that moment? That was part of it too. Like, and then I don't know, it was just crazy, like how that moment can like propel you to go do other things, but like you can't get stagnant. Like you got to remember why you're doing it too. And like he's good about like having bigger goals and looking at the bigger picture. Because to me, I'm like, oh, we're chilling, bro. Like they're wearing it, I'm good. Like. But it's like we can do so much more and touch so many more people than just like these people that everyone looks up to. Like we can go touch communities like that, like, really change stuff. But yeah.
That's great. I just saw your eyes light up when you said the wearing the jersey thing. That was hard. That was hard. I want to talk about this last drop that you guys did. I think this was your last one, right?
Yes, sir.
And that was what? April?
I want to say April
around. I just remember I was at home for some reason in the spring, so that's when I came and picked it up. But what was the inspiration behind? It looks like toast, like butter on toast, correct?
Yeah.
What was like the inspiration behind that? I get spreading, but was there any like moment that started that? Or?
So this was the first ever logo that we had, and we obtained it from Deshaun Schwartz's dad, and he just took the idea, spread love, put the toast. And I was like, man, that's so like, it's so simple, but it makes so much sense. Like everybody can relate to it. But with our drops, like I'll answer a question. So there's a design team, and how we do it is we don't have a specific logo, more or less. Again, we go back to the message. So it's like, no matter what, it's a SLUV piece. It stands for spread love. Obviously, the images are going to have something to do with a heart or, something to do with spreading love. So some drops, you'll just see random, graphics you've never seen us, promote before, but it's a team collective thing to where we'll have an idea session where we're like, okay, these are the vibes we want to go for. But a lot of our drops, if you followed us, they're all over the place. And a lot of the grain, the world is like, you have to have certain set drops, set colorways, but we go against the grain. We're like, nah, man, we're going to do like next drop, a cheetah print shirt with a blue hoodie. And, there's no correlation there, but it's our brand. It's our clothing. It's our jersey, like Keon said. And it's bigger than just what's out there. But what we study on and what we focus on is, if you're going to be a part of this community, just know that design probably won't come out again. It might come out in the same color, but you have a piece that, you've stood with us from the beginning. So even if we ever do get big, that piece probably won't ever come out again. They can get a variation of that piece, but the fans and the community that has been with us from the beginning, they know, and they're like, okay, what's going to be on the next drop? And we kind of keep it a secret because, you want to keep them on edge and always keep something different coming so that the consumer doesn't, get bored of, oh, it's just a heart and a spread love, blah, blah, blah. It's like you never know what's coming in our drops.
Do you have any input on the logos or kind of what he said?
Yeah, like that was like he was saying, Deshaun's dad made that original logo, and but like to me, honestly, I was feeling it, but I wasn't feeling it like that. It didn't make me jump how like our logo made me jump like on the hat. But then we started putting it on pieces and stuff, and then we got like the sweatsuit with the Chanel patch and like y'all both have on, and then I fell in love with it. And then, like you said, just keeping people like on edge. I think that's another big reason that I do it like and keep up with it is like the ability to like bring stuff from your brain.
Did you just fart? Oh. Okay. Sorry. My fault.
No. Just to pull stuff from your brain and like to make it come to life, and the physical is just crazy to me. It's like magic to me, and I think that is so cool. And that starts with like my sister. She's like super good into fashion. Like she's one of the top inspirations. So shout out to her. Shout out to Rai. But
love it.
Oh yeah, so I think a lot of people don't know like what goes on in kind of like the fashion design world in that whole aspect. When you guys are looking to do a drop, what is like that process that you go through, not only just with the design, but how you kind of think about how you're going to push it out, how to promote it? Like, what are those steps that you take from the beginning to when the drop happens?
Yeah. I would say, so every single drop we've had, we've changed it up
because we different.
We learn. And the coolest part, we were just going through this, and we talked about the photo shoot. But so me and Keon have talked about this. No matter how big we ever get, we will always have our photo shoots be the community. So we're going to put it on our story. Whoever wants to be in this photo shoot is going to be in the photo shoot. And we've done that since day one with our friends. And then, we go out and we're like, first ever shoot, I don't know if you remember, park, right by my house. Pull up to park, bro. No set list, nothing. Just pull up, just start taking pictures, walking through the park at night. That's our photo shoot. We roll it out. People love it. Next time, we're like, okay, we're going to do this. And then you get there and everything just changes as you go. But how we do it now and how we run all of our drops is we'll have a photo shoot. We like to have videos attached with the drops. This will be the video for this upcoming drop. And then we'll do a photo shoot and we'll campaign the photo shoot. So we'll go through the photo shoot, pick the best pictures, and then through our Instagram, social media presence, that's mainly where we sell on and where we advertise on. Then we'll kind of get like a 7-day game plan of, okay, here's rollout. First day, we're going to market this piece by itself. Second day, if we have a hat drop, we're going to put the hats together on day 2, and we'll start to slowly market it through a campaign through our social medias.
You want to answer? Do you have a process as well of just whenever you're about to drop? Is there?
Yeah, because like I'm like one of the
Designers
like on the design team. But honestly, there's no method to the madness at all. There's just madness. And I think it's fun like that. Like, I'll just feel a certain type of way, or I'll see something, and I can, like, you don't think about it too much. You just blitz on the idea, and then
awesome
go from there.
I want to talk about the next drop, too, as well. And then we'll get into a couple sports, because apparently you have some takes you want to get off.
Definitely.
Hunter's outside if you want to go grab him, by the way. So yeah, let's talk about this upcoming drop. Obviously, I haven't even seen it yet. I haven't seen any pictures. I'm hoping to after this, but I haven't seen any pictures, no videos, nothing. I did see like a little sneak peek. Also, by the way, we probably have someone great that can model for your pictures.
Let us know.
Not me, but Saul can definitely. Saul can definitely do it. You guys maybe seen him on my Instagram or something, but this next drop, without revealing too much, I guess. Any inspiration behind this one? What are we expecting to see? Any thoughts?
I'll let Keon take the role on that one.
I don't like to put stuff out there. 'cause
Yeah, I know. This
you-
is making
you
me
know,
nervous.
when God blesses you with something, you can't reveal it before it's time. Sometimes you just got to be quiet on stuff. So
no sneak peeks.
yeah, I can't say too much.
That's fine.
I like it, the anticipation.
Yeah, it's getting me excited.
I will say there's an Easter egg right here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? There's one Easter egg.
You kind of
at
did say
least.
cheetah print, so we'll go with cheetah
There's
print.
one Easter egg right there.
All right, sounds good. Let's talk sports. And we'll talk a little bit of SLUV at the end too, with hopefully one question from Mr. LP over there. But college football, you guys tuned in at all? Your dad is a assistant coach, defensive coordinator.
Yeah. He's on staff over at Charlotte University right now.
So you obviously grew up playing football. What do you look at like when 12-team playoff? Okay.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of it at first, or are you still a fan? Are you not a fan?
I'm just because of like my dad's been coaching my whole life, and I grew up with like the bowl games and like the BCS era. I like that like a lot more. So like, but it's cool though. It's different, and I like the energy like the playoff like brings, and it's cool.
What about you?
I mean, sports, when you speak sports with me, I'm corrupted because of fantasy football. So, like, I don't have any favorite college team, any NFL teams, but I'll watch players. So, really, my college football experience is getting on YouTube and going to Dynasty for the next year and finding out all of my players and then just going from there and watching all of them. So, you know, I did pretty good this year in Dynasty, so I won't I won't have a high pick. So, it'll be
I didn't do great at all.
It'll be light year.
You have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, just along with that 12-team playoff, I mean, like, I think a lot of people looked at the slate this weekend. I don't know if you guys caught it or not. What were your initial thoughts on kind of how those games went? Because I think they went so much worse than I think a lot of people expected them to. What were your guys' thoughts on that?
First of all, I didn't watch a single game. I was very disappointed. And it starts 2 weeks ago in that SEC championship game.
Go Dogs, baby.
I had a lot of schmeckles out there. I was playing with a lot of schmeckles, and that did not go my way. And so I had to take a break. But I don't know. They gotta fix the rankings, because Boise State, they earned it. They earned the right to be there. They need to be 8 through 12. Like a bye is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Same with ASU. Like,
Yeah.
what are they doing getting a bye? That's wild.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I've heard the same thing about how people don't want that the conference championship game. I've always thought that it should win you like you should get in from that, but maybe not get a bye, because Boise State getting that and Arizona State getting that bye, it just seems kind of like didn't really deserve it. Like you
No.
barely squeaked by in the Big 12, and now
Facts.
you get to take a week off. Like it doesn't make much sense to me.
What was your guys' like initial reactions when primetime came to Boulder? I mean, you guys had a drop as well, or I don't even know if it ever dropped because of, I heard like what you say, like licensing or stuff like that. But you guys did like a CU CSU kind of hat thing. I have a CSU one. I actually wore it to the CU CSU game this year. But like, what was your initial thoughts on like Dion coming here? And are you guys like a fan of what he's doing over here?
Oh, yeah.
I know everybody's a fan of Travis Hunter and Shador, but
The only thing I was mad at is, so Deshaun Schwartz went to CU for like 4 years, and we were always going up there, active on the campus. And then the year he leaves
George Mason.
to George Mason, Dion comes in. I'm like, bro, like we would have been right there with Dion, like, you know, with the program. But I think what he's doing is good. I'm interested to see if he stays. I know that's going to be a big topic in this offseason. I think he leaves personally, but, you know, we'll see what happens. But it'll be interesting to follow.
I think what they did like in the past 2 years, like initially I was like, they have to remember, like, they used to have to go out there and play football, and I think they knew that too. So I think a lot of people put like a lot of pressure on them, but like just in terms of what they were able to do, like on the field, off the field, and then like to be able to like perform and like everything go their way.
Got a
Like,
Heisman.
that's crazy. Yeah. And like you got Lil Wayne up there, like that was a moment in like history for me. Like it was just wild. So I think it's super cool. And it'll be interesting to see if like he actually stays though. But I think they're solid. They're cool.
I think he's gonna stay for at least
Yeah.
one more year.
Tell
too.
him about your Travis Hunter take. Like how you.
Oh, yeah,
me
this
and
is how I
BG,
felt about
This is perfect. This is perfect.
about Travis, because I think Ashton Genty should have won the Heisman, and this is what because I think he had the best season, but he's not the best player. But as I'm watching the ceremony, I'm like, we've all played with someone like Travis Hunter. Either like, and he's like a backyard player. Like we were either all played with someone like him or we were all him, like just playing both sides, not taking breaks, like just out there just playing ball. And I'm like, he needs it. Like he gotta get it now. Like, and it was just so cool seeing that. And he's a good dude too. Like never in trouble, nothing like that. So it's cool.
You see what he did with like all his NIL money? Like he just
he breaks it all off.
hard, that's
like
hard.
that's cool.
He's a good person. I hope it doesn't get taken advantage of.
Hey, married to the money, married to the money.
Do you have another question?
Oh man, yeah. So I mean, like obviously Travis won that Heisman. I was wondering, like, you know, it's one of those things where I think a lot of people thought Genty should have been the guy who get it. But I always had the thought of like Travis. I think there's a lot of flash that does go into that Heisman award, and like, you know, I don't know if Genty really had all that flash that, you know, Travis had. So I was curious, like, what do you guys, when you think about college football and like the players that are like the names of the game? Like, do you tend to lean towards the guys with the stats or the guys who, you know the face, you know the intensity of the player, like the more flashy guy, or like
It's perfect for him too.
I love
like
this.
statistic guy?
I think they both play a factor, but like when it boils down, like it can't be stats. You got to look at a dude, and if you like, you know, when you see a dude, and that's, to me, that they're both like that, like Genty and like Hunter, but like. For you to line up, I don't care who you're playing, and put 8 in the box and rush for two bands is crazy. Like that's crazy, and I don't know. So I like that, but like he's a unicorn. Like Hunter's a unicorn. So I don't know. How do you feel?
Russell Westbrook.
I was gonna say,
Stats. Give me the stats. Give me the stats.
I
Give
was
me
gonna
the
say, I
stats.
was just going to transition into NBA because I know you're a huge Westbrook guy, and you're a stats guy. He's an eye watcher, so these arguments must be hilarious.
we be going. We don't go at it about Westbrook, but like the Shy Luka thing, I took that one. Personally.
Okay. So we're gonna blind rank. We're gonna blind rank NBA MVP candidates. So just pick top 5 random guys.
5 is the worst.
5 is the worst. 1 will be the best. So if you guys want to do this as collective, or you guys can choose your own.
no, no
separate.
collective.
We got to be separate.
I ain't taking his picks, bro.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll start. 1 through 5. 1 being best, 5 being the worst, and you won't know what's coming after. I guess you kind of will because MVP candidates in the NBA, there's not many of them. But we'll start. Jason Tatum.
Not in the race.
Okay, fair.
5.
Okay.
I'll go 4.
4. Okay.
4.
Luka.
2.
3.
3. Okay. I'll just get it out of the way. Jokic.
1.
Even with the teams being this
1.
disappointing.
1.
Okay.
1.
1. Okay.
Shy.
Shai Gilgeous.
Dose. 2.
He'd be 3 now. Yeah. 3.
Okay. So what leaves what? I'm confusing myself. What spots do you guys have left?
5.
You have 5 and you have 4. Okay. Is it my turn or is it your turn?
You got it.
Ooh, all right. I don't even know. MVP can't. Giannis. Bucks are playing pretty well.
5. James Harden stance with Giannis. 5. Yes.
He didn't even have an option.
James Harden stance on Giannis, bro.
You don't like Giannis?
Bro is not. They got no skills, bro. What skills you got? A drop step, dog. Like you can go teach a 3rd grader how to do a drop step.
Why didn't we bring up LeBron?
Washed.
LeBron, he's been out like half the year. Well, he was either in those Rock Nation meetings or he was apparently over in Germany getting steroids. But we won't talk about that. I'm a LeBron hater here. This is well documented.
I am too.
This is well documented. What made you a big Russell Westbrook fan initially?
Man, just dog, bro. That dude is a dog. I watched one, so I always liked him, and then I watched one documentary with Kobe. It wasn't the Kobe Muse, but it was another one. And he said that he was in LA at the UCLA runs before it was a thing. And he said some young cat walked in the gym and was like, I got him. And he's like, who in the hell is this kid? And he said, he ain't handle me, but he was trying and, he did his hardest. And he's like, I've always respected that about him. And Kobe Bean was my guy. Like, I would die saying he's better than LeBron. Like, I'll sit there for 24 hours and argue with someone that Kobe's better than LeBron. But so, like, just seeing the aspect of when KD left him, and the dude every night said, we're either going to win by me or we're going to lose by me. And he lived with the results. I really respected a player like that. You know, like who's gonna take that last shot and say, if I make it, it's because of me, and if I miss it, I'll go sit out the game and talk to the interviewers and take the blame for it. But
He was such a dog
bro,
back at
he's
OKC.
a dog, bro. He's a dog.
I actually was blessed enough to meet him one time in Vegas, and he is also just like the nicest person.
Oh, yeah.
He got out of like an Uber to take a picture with me when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
We will not throw that picture in here
The fit
because
was
my
crazy.
fit
Bring
is
that, hey, bring that up. Put that up on the screen. Edit, hey, when you edit it, put that on the screen.
He's gonna have to get that picture out of me first. You have it? Oh damn. Any hot takes you want to fire off? I heard you had a couple. We'll just let you fire away. We'll talk about it. Besides Shea Gilgeous being better than Luka, we already kind of
Yeah, we already went over that a little bit.
I'll start one off.
Okay.
He says Lamar Jackson is better than Patrick Mahomes.
Lamar Jackson is the best football player to ever play the sport.
Hey,
And I mean that.
Lamar or Patrick Mahomes is the best player to ever put his 2 feet on the turf. Like I'm talking about, just place some cleats on a turf. He's
That's
the best
not
ever.
true. That's not true.
I'll let you go.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved Lamar, but the biggest knock I've always given him is he's not a winner, in my personal opinion. Like, he's a dog, and he puts the stats up, and he is one of the best he's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. I do agree with you on that. But I think
Two-time MVP, right?
yeah. But when it comes to Mahomes, I think there's just something in him that, like, no matter what the case is, he finds a way to win. And, like, sometimes I feel like Lamar, and it might just be.
I was gonna say, is that more like Andy Reid
It
though?
might be a more thing of like the team that surrounds him and
I
stuff
think
like
that.
that.
I think
Spags on the defense coordinator.
But I've always loved Lamar, and I really want Lamar to win a Super Bowl because I'm ready to stop saying that he's not a winner because I know that he can be. Because I say the same thing about like Josh Allen because Josh Allen hasn't made it to a Super Bowl and
Do you
hasn't
not
won the
like
big
Josh
I
game.
can't stand him.
I love Josh Allen.
love
I
Josh
love
Allen.
Josh Allen.
I don't like the comparison between him and Lamar. And I like you said,
Mm-hmm.
if Lamar wins MVP, which he should this year, because he's playing
or
crazy.
Josh Allen.
But even if you look at, and I don't look at numbers, even if you just look at the numbers, he's outplaying him.
Mm-hmm.
But if Lamar wins MVP and then gets a Super Bowl within the next 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
where does that put him all time?
Well, he'd be a 3-time MVP because he's already 2-time, and then
Right.
with 1 Super Bowl. I mean, that's probably at least.
And
like
what
top
and what does
20
that look like?
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Top 20?
He probably. I mean, he probably already is, but like in terms of actual
Okay,
playing, I'm
okay.
saying when you
Yeah.
put the accolades up there,
Yeah.
he's
Aaron
going to be
Rodgers,
Hall of Fame.
same thing. 3 MVPs, 1 Super Bowl. Is he better than Aaron Rodgers? Would he be better than Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron has
Yes,
4. Right?
100%.
I think he has 4.
Does he have 4?
I'm pretty sure he has 4. LP.
Not sure.
Yeah. Do you want to answer his question? You think Lamar is better than Aaron Rodgers all time already?
Yeah. He's more talented than him, absolutely. And he can throw. And I like A-Rod too, but
He's got 4.
he's not. He can't mess with
Do
Lamar.
you want to elaborate on that Patrick Mahomes take too?
Bro,
Best
he's
to
just-
ever
yeah,
step
he's
his
just
cleats
I
on the
mean,
field.
You know, like I said, sports have corrupted me, so I got Red Zone on every
He's
Sunday.
a Chiefs fan. He's probably loving this.
Every single Sunday, I got every game on, so I'm watching everybody, and I've seen him make plays where I'm like, bro, you put in the breadbasket to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and he done dropped 4 goal balls, and y'all are still winning the game. Like, what? And, like, the year Tyreek left, I'm like, okay, it's just Tyreek. It's Andy Reid. Tyreek leaves. Who was a wide receiver on that team for the next 2 years? Juju Smith-Schuster? Like, come
Kadarius
on, bro.
Toney.
Kadarius Toney.
Hey,
Butterfingers.
Bro is still
Kadarius Toney's like that. I'm sticking up for
Bro is still getting it
KT.
done.
He's
still
hard.
getting it done. So I mean, I'm gonna die on that hill. So
Do you think that's more of like the product of Spags, like in Andy Reid? Like if Lamar was in that coaching staff, do you think the roles would be reversed?
What do you? If Lamar was on,
On
the
the Chiefs,
Chiefs,
yeah.
what do you think?
we could
would
say this
happen?
about Patrick being on Baltimore with Derrick Henry and like Mark
I just wanted to know your
Andrews.
thoughts.
Hey, I know I might have got a little aggressive there, but my boy down there is a Chiefs fan, so I'm holding it down right now. I'm holding it down.
Any more hot takes you guys just want to?
I do one thing. Like, I think that one thing that both of them have that is somewhat rare is that if you were to remove them from their respective teams, their teams are nowhere near like what they are right now with them. Like, I think if you take, Lamar out of Baltimore, they have a lot of struggles. I think if you take Mahomes out of KC, they maybe have 5 wins right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that's been. So, like, that factor alone already puts them in that top tier all the way up there with, like, a couple, like, the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Like, Tom Brady's not on some of those Patriot teams. They're probably not who they were for all of those years, even with Bill Belichick. So I think those two guys are going to go at it for at least this era, the greatest to ever play the quarterback position. So
You think it's like a Brady Manning kind of thing, like Mahomes, Lamar?
Oh yeah. But then you got Joe Burrow,
Josh
you got
Allen.
Josh Allen. I mean, we're blessed in this generation with the talent that we're seeing, bro.
Like our age group has seen some of the best sports ever.
Facts.
Seeing LeBron, as much as I hate him, I mean Tiger Woods, we grew up with Floyd, boxing, McGregor for like those 2 years before he started doing coke. No, but any more hot takes you want to get off?
Let's
Yeah.
do because me and him have done this like an all-time NBA starting five. And we'll let the
Are we
fans
drafting?
choose. Yeah, just a draft. You can have the same players.
Is us two versus you two?
No,
I'm
not taking any of his picks,
bro.
bro.
I don't know shit about basketball. So.
Ah, damn. Okay.
No, I got you.
Joey will get you good.
Yeah, I got
Joey
you.
will get you good.
So we're just drafting. It's me versus you guys.
No, and it's not even a
Oh,
draft.
okay.
So if I pick Luka in my top five, you could still have your starting five lineup.
Yeah,
like,
this is just starting.
like if we were to get on Blacktop on 2K right now, and
Okay.
you were to pick
Yeah,
your
yeah.
five,
Okay, I'm down.
tell me who that five would be.
I'll start at point guard. This is kind of easy for me. I think when I have my top 10 list already, like I have it in my phone of who I think are the top 10 players, I picked two from each position, except for power forward. There's only one. It's Tim Duncan. He's the best in my opinion.
And you don't got to do position. Like you're the coach.
So I just get to
like, who's
Jokic.
my starting five?
Jokic
Okay.
is starting center.
Yep.
He's a point guard. He's the best player I've ever seen with my own eyes, including watching LeBron. I think he's offensively the best player I've ever seen.
Wow.
He can change. He. I watched way too many Nuggets games, and if he wasn't on our team, we'd be probably the worst team in the NBA.
Facts. 100%.
We go as far as he goes. So I'm a Nikola Jokic. Kobe. I'm a huge fan of Kobe, so I'll put Kobe at the 2. I think they'd play well off each other as well, just the way Jokic passes the ball and stuff. But at the 3, I'm not going to pick LeBron. I'm just not. We'll go Steph at point guard. I don't know why. I like Steph. He's cool. You could put Magic there, but I feel like having Magic and Jokic together would just be pointless. You know what I mean? They do the same thing essentially. So I'll do Steph. Stretch the floor a little bit. Give me Larry. Larry Legend. I love Larry Bird. I don't know why.
Crazy.
I'm just not going to pick LeBron. I'm not. Go Larry Legend. And then power forward, I mean, I'd be like fine with Tim Duncan, I guess. But like, we'll put him out of position. We'll put LeBron in there just to make everybody happy.
Okay.
Not you guys, just the
So
viewers.
what's your team?
So it'd be Steph, Kobe, Larry. You could put Larry or LeBron at the 3 or 4. It really doesn't matter. And then Jokic.
Okay.
I think we got good shooting, good playmakers everywhere, all of them besides kind of Kobe. But but other than that, yeah, I think I got a solid squad. What about you guys?
Okay.
Okay, so you guys have done this before.
I'll go. I gotta put Steph at the 1.
Okay.
Bean at the 2. Bean is the best player ever, too. Bron. I need Diesel. I need Shaq. And I need KD.
KD at the
need
4. I like that.
Freakiest player to ever play. I need KD.
Nice. Same.
I'd probably go Jokic at my 5.
Yes.
The man I hate but again, I'm a coach, so I'm taking Giannis at my 4 just to, balance out Jokic on the rebounds, the defense. If I'm playing Shaq,
Yeah.
Jokic probably can't
Notice how
guard him.
Embiid wasn't on any of these lists. I just want to make that clear.
He would never play.
And then I'd probably take LeBron at my 3. I'd have Mike. I don't know how y'all don't have Mike on your list. Like
I felt like that was just like too obvious.
winner, 6-0. Like I obviously won. I don't even have to talk about the point guard at this. And then just give me Westbrook because we already got Mike. So just give me Westbrook. I don't even care at that point. We already won with Mike. So
Do you guys want a 6-man?
Lou Will. Or Brandon
Ray
Jennings.
Allen.
Give me
Ray
Brandon
Allen.
Jennings.
Ray
Brandon
Allen
Jennings.
is my
Off the
6 man.
bench.
I'll take Manu.
Ray Allen is my 6 man.
Manu. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Any more hot takes you guys want to fire off before?
I got a question for y'all.
'Kay, love it.
And people think I'm crazy for this. So, with like 3 months of training, right? You're in the gym. Could you go in an NBA game and get you 10? Get you 8. Get you 10. Get you 8.
Okay, like what's the premises? Like, am I playing normal rotation minutes for like just a starter in the NBA? Like, am I playing?
Yeah, you're playing 29 minutes,
29
28 minutes.
Do I have to play defense?
You out there.
Okay.
And we'll put you with Jokic so you have open shots.
Yeah. Are you getting 8,
Dude, I'd be
8
like-
points?
No, me, no. Wait, 3 months of training? Okay, maybe. 3 months of training, maybe.
Yeah, you're
right
in the
now,
gym.
hell no. I still have the jumper, but my mobility is just no longer anywhere. Why do you think I golf now? But I just have no mobility. Like especially playing defense would be a struggle for me. I'd play against you guys. I'd probably struggle so on defensively. But give me like 3 open threes. I think
You're knocking it down.
I can knock down a couple.
That's not crazy.
No, that's not crazy.
Okay.
Does he think it's crazy? Do you think it's crazy?
No.
Hey, we've had this conversation.
And people think I'm crazy for saying I'd go get me 10.
You think you can get yourself a 10?
So let me tell you a story real quick. So when I was in middle school, back when I actually played basketball, I was on the C team, and it came down to that last shot, and I was doing a layup and just smoked it clear off the glass. And I was walking to the car, and my dad put his arm around me, and he said, "Just look at it this way: you'll never suck as bad as you did today." And then I proceeded to quit basketball very shortly after that. So to answer the question, maybe I get 2 at max. Maybe.
not a room full of hoopers here. Hey, these two can golf though. The Chiefs guy over there, his name's
Okay,
Hunter, by the
come
way.
on,
But
come on.
I'm sure you'll meet him after. But they can golf pretty well. Basketball, I don't know if it's in our wheelhouse anymore.
It might have never been.
Yeah.
Hey, in the summer, I'll come up and I'll get on the course with y'all.
Yeah.
Because I could keep up.
We gotta
I'm
bring
not
him.
good, but I could keep up.
We got to get Keon out there.
I'll come hang out. I'll come hang out.
That'd be fun. We should get 2 tee times to have 8 of us to just go
Yeah.
out there.
I'm with that.
We could film something too.
I was going to say we could talk and do the thing.
we can
Or,
get the little mics.
Yeah.
Talk and golf.
Oh, yeah.
Talk and golf.
Yeah.
Presented by SLUV.
Yeah.
Love it.
Everybody will just love golf polo by then. That's an Easter egg for y'all.
Hey. Stroke and Stokes. Stroke and Stokes.
Hey,
That's the name of the video.
get 18 rounds with him, and he'll, get 18 rounds with him, and you'll have a great time. I promise.
I'd love it. Any more hot takes? I just want you guys to be able to like. This is on the internet, like so. You guys, whatever you say here will be used against you if you want any hot takes.
I love it.
Anything about sport, anything about life.
Anything about anything.
We're gonna leave politics out of this.
Okay.
If you're a Golden State fan or have ever been a Golden State fan, like, you got to go look yourself in the mirror and really ask yourself if you know what's going on in life. That's all I got. That's my hot take.
And if you hate Caitlin Clark, you're weird.
Yes.
If you don't think she deserves what's going on right
Yes,
now,
yes,
you're
yes.
weird.
This is a huge Caitlin Clark podcast.
You're weird.
Yes.
Huge Caitlin Clark supporters.
Shout out Caitlin Clark.
Shout out Caitlin Clark.
She a hooper.
What's your thoughts on Angel Reese
I'm not gonna
as a
s-
basketball
Bro,
player?
she's worse than Draymond Green. Like, and that's the equivalent, but she's worse than him. Like,
What's that one video of her going? Bro,
That's the first thing.
hey, have y'all ever seen them TikToks of that dude where like they'll have like a highlight and he'll go block it or something?
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's how I feel about her. Like, come on, bro.
You
she
think?
does her thing though. Shout out.
No,
shout
she
out to
does
her.
not. She does not do her thing, bro.
What if
She
she wears?
rebounds
What if she
the
wears
ball.
SLUV?
Okay, that's a movement. That's basketball, and this is
Yeah, we're just putting this is all
something else.
basketball, not
You know?
nothing else
Yeah,
about.
And I'll tell her, like, you give your all out there, and I do respect that. But maybe we got to get in the lab. Like,
You gotta get in the gym.
we can call up some trainers or something. Like,
You guys think women's basketball is going in the right direction?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Especially like Juju, Paige Becker. So they played, I think, yesterday.
They're fire.
yeah.
I think it's going in the right direction. What's your thoughts on Dan Hurley, the UConn coach, UConn men's basketball coach?
I mean, like, thoughts on him?
Is he like? Do you think he's like crazy? Or?
I'm crazy. Like, if you see me coaching, bro, who do they say I was like? Bobby? No. Bob Knight is what I got.
Oh.
You know, but that's just the culture. That's the culture, and I'm gonna let you know if you're doing wrong. I'm gonna let you know if you're doing right, and I respect that. So,
We kind of talked about it already, but Joe Mazzulla. Any thoughts on him?
OG.
Big Missoula fan.
I love Joe Mazzulla.
OG.
You have any questions?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like we covered so much.
Any more hot takes? This is your time. Just go crazy.
I'm trying to think.
Let me think.
A huge Caitlin Clark podcast, though. All the boys.
100%.
All the boys are.
Sports.
Insert Jeopardy music at this time.
Yeah, facts. CHSA sucks. I mean, I'm going to take that to the grave. If you don't know what CHSA is, it's Colorado High School Sports Association.
Did you dirty?
They're trash. They don't know what's going on. You know, NIL money's coming to the younger age. Like, come on, we got to start letting people transfer.
There needs to be a cap on that.
like
You
we got to
think
let
so?
people.
No, yeah.
Bro.
No, bro. This is
the
a
Wild
free
West.
market,
That
bro.
is the Wild
Because
West.
like schools like SMU.
Well, it's just like a corporate. Yeah. Why are all the richest schools the best ones this year? Like that's
Interesting.
not a coincidence. Like
It's the same though with like baseball, like football. Like Jerry Jones just chooses not to be an idiot. Like he should choose to probably do more because he's probably going to go soon. No offense, but like, that's what Phil Knight with Oregon. He said, "I'm going to put all this money into this because I'm going to be gone soon, and I want to see them win." Jerry Jones should probably think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it's going to have to come to with like NIL. I think a lot of people talked about it getting like a commissioner for college football because it is almost becoming more of like a business now. And I think a lot of it's going to have to come down to like contract like clauses and stuff like that. Of like, we'll pay you all this money, but you have to play in this amount of games. And like unless it's an excusable one where like you got hurt, but like you can't dip out of the bowl game and expect to get all that money and then transfer and expect us to pay you all this money.
but
Would you guys want to play college sports right now? Like, if you a whole different time, like, would you guys want to?
No.
You think it's too crazy, or like
Nah.
the motivation is different now? It's just more money.
yeah, I think it's like it just ruined the sport. Not ruined it, but like it's just so different now. Like why are you able just to bounce around like 8 schools? You get 8 years. Like
Why is there a baby Gronk?
Why are we making contracts? Why are we like begging you to play? Like
Yeah.
you're
You should
trying to
wanna
go to the
play.
league. This is just a stepping stone. Like this isn't like the biggest. I don't know. There's no tradition, pride in the school now. That's what made it amateur athletics. Like you go to a school, you're dying and riding for the school. Now it's like everyone bounces around and it's whack to me. That's whack.
Yeah, I mean, because if I'm remembering correctly, like
time.
we used to, I think you used to have to wait, like sit out a year when you used
Yeah.
to transfer to teams. You have to sit out a year before you could play, and I think that kept a lot of people from going into the portal, except for like maybe freshmen who knew that like Alabama who knew they were never going to play. So I think they're going to have to find something like that. I think a year is crazy, but like
I
maybe
think a year is crazy.
putting a restriction on like how many
Times you can
bounce
bounce,
around
yeah.
and like go around these places. Like maybe you can only do it like twice, and you have to do it before your junior year, or you kind of
Yeah.
just run out.
I think it's crazy that AJ DeBancer, or whatever his name is, he got like $7 million from BYU. Also a BYU fan over there. He had a great year of sports. Okay, real quick before we get out of here, do you have anything you want to say about the drops? SLUV? I know you don't want to reveal too much, but just what to expect. Last message. Also, go shop at sluv.us
sir.
online, and then sluv.co on Instagram. That's sluv.co. That's what I say every time. So, any last thoughts?
What do you want your 10% code to be?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get a code. We'll put it out in the bio or whatever, or when we have this episode, when we drop it, we'll say it. Code Rock Solid.
Yes, sir.
That's perfect. 10%.
Yep.
We'll drop the link. Obviously, the website. We can say it every week, but we'll put it in the bio as well. Go shop. Use code Rock Solid to get a 10% discount. Yeah, pretty cool. Thank you guys.
I would just say for everybody, like, just be on the lookout for some pre-order method stuff. But we're really starting to, branch out with the catalog. So you'll start to see some, fleece zip-ups, some, button-ups, some golf polos. You're going to start to see some stuff, some socks, some belts. So I'll tease that, but you don't know what the designs are going to be on any of those. But, yeah, you'll start to see that moving forward.
Sweet.
Shout out Jason. Shout out J Smooth. Shout out Johnny Cash. Shout out Tiz. Who else?
DS5.
DS5.
Was Jordan-
Shout out
was
Matty
Jordan including this?
Ice.
Jordan Phillips.
That's smooth.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Okay.
smooth. But yeah, but there's so many other people that I'm like spacing out right now, but it's all love.
Shout out
And
everybody.
There's so many people behind the scenes that's a part of this. But
Facts.
shout out them boys.
Oh, I love it. Any last things you want to say or no?
No, I mean, I appreciate you guys coming on. We've been, this kind of brand that we've been talking about for so long and promoting. And obviously, you guys have met Joey, but this is the first time I'm meeting you guys. So it's really awesome to kind of put a face to, like, this read that we do every week. It's awesome to see the story behind it all and how much meaning you guys have for it and passion that you're putting into it, and that I can only imagine you're going to continue to do even more so going into the future. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on. It was really awesome to meet you guys. And I'm so excited to see what you guys do in the future.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this drop right now. So
Come on.
Thank you.
Hey,
All right, well-
when the camera turns out, they're going to see the
Thank
the
you for
photo
having
shoot.
us, too.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
thank you
live.
for driving down here, or
Yes, sir.
up here,
Yes.
both ways. So
Came from both ways.
yeah. All right, well, I appreciate it. Yeah, let's get out of here.
Slug.
Cool.